how the devil can have free reign to come to church and say what he want to say, and we sit up in here and don't say nothing. Spineless and faithless. Look like your faith ought to wake up and make you feel uncomfortable. But you read that. Let's read it. I'm not making this up. It says in verse 2, she made that proposal, and the last sentence says, and Abram heeded the voice of Sarah. Just like Adam, he heeded the voice of his wife. He should have known better, because in chapter 12, he heard the Lord say, leave and go to a place that I'll show you. He says, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless your name. Your name will be great. And I'm going to bless folks who bless you. And I'm going to curse folks who curse you. Look like something in him would have tapped him on the shoulder and said, wait a minute. Have you forgotten the promise? The temptation is fresh. The promise is old. The promise is familiar. The temptation is new. And that's how Satan will catch you off guard. He's not going to come bother you with something you've overcome for years. He's not going to mess with you. He's going to come from a different angle. He's going to catch you off guard. He's going to catch you when you ain't prayed up. And so the text says he heeded the voice of his wife. He knew not only the promise of chapter 12, but he knew the covenant of chapter 15. Not only that, he had seen visions. And he had heard the word. That's right. And he still messed up. That's why, brothers and sisters, you can't be too hard on yourself. It's amazing to me for a person to be around the church for a lifetime with a guilt complex. That's one reason why we can't get along. Because we don't trust ourselves. When you can't trust yourself, you ain't going to trust nobody else. Some of us have guilt complexes about things that we did years and years ago. All right. Amen. But you need to know that you have been forgiven. You need to know that the penalty of your sin has already been paid for. You need to know that Jesus paid it all. And all to him I know. Sin left the crimson stain. But he washed it. You know how you know that? You know how you know that you are forgiven? You know you're forgiven when you remember what you did wrong. And it don't make you feel bad. All right. If you remember what you did, when you did it, and how bad you did it, and the mess you made in it, and the folk that you disappointed, and you still walk around crying. You got an inferiority complex. All right. People got to handle you with gloves on because you're wearing your feelings on your shoulder. You ain't forgiven. When you know that you're forgiven, you come with a different attitude. When you know you're forgiven, old so-and-so can come up and remind you, and you smile in their face and say, thank God I'm forgiven. You don't have to forgive me if you don't want to. made me. They don't know who called me out of darkness and into the marvelous light. They don't know how he picked me up, turned me out, planted my feet on solid ground. You better stop letting folks bother you. So Abram messed up real bad. Now let's look at it. Let's look at the products of faithlessness. This is what happens when you don't have enough faith. The first thing that happened, Hagar, when she conceived, she started hating on Sarah. Look at verse 4. When she saw that she had conceived, her mistress became despised in her eyes. Horrible proposals bring horrible results. Secondly, it created friction between Abraham and his wife. Now remember, she brought the woman to him. He accepted her, and now him and his wife is falling out in the mess they created. Thirdly, Abram couldn't help these two women. Look at verse 5. Sarah said to Abram, "My wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace. And when she saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes. The Lord's judge between you and me." I can see that she probably was a sister, ring in her neck. I know I'd give it to you, but you didn't have to take it the way you did. But look at verse 6. So Abram said to Sarah, "Indeed, your maid is in your hand. Do to her as you please." Now, that's a spineless man. You see these brothers, they got baby mama drama over here, and they got baby mama drama over there. And can't have now one of them women. Spineless. I'm sorry, I'm not after nobody. Another consequence is that Sarah begins to mistreat Hagar. Yeah, that's in verse 6. Yeah. Sarah dealt harshly with her. So she fled from her presence. Hagar ran away. And if you read on over in chapter 21, verse 9, when Sarah finally conceived that son that had been promised them, that they were helping God out with, Ishmael, the son of Hagar, he's about 11 years old. And when he saw that Sarah was expecting, he mocked her. You see, horrible results become a generational thing. You see, brothers and sisters, it's something we have forgotten, that the sins of the fathers will be visited upon the children up to the third generation. Now, we I've heard people debate that, and some folks think that means that the children will suffer because of the sins of the father. That's not what that verse is saying. What that verse is saying, if daddy don't deal with his issues, the son is going to take up the issue. That's why you see so many sons alcoholics like they daddy. Because the sins of the daddy will come to the son if he don't deal with it. And And the son will pass it on to the grandson.